Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator John Fetterman got into some beef on X this weekend after drama went down on the House floor Thursday. Now, AOC and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene found themselves in a heated tit-for-tat during a House committee hearing on holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt. Greene commented on the appearance of Representative Jasmine Crockett. Let's take a look at that.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
That is absolutely unexactable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move.
Now, Crockett has clapped back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here's what she had to say on CNN.
MAGA has historically been on social media doing the things where they're saying, oh, she's black with lashes and nails and hair, and so she's ghetto. And so to me, this was her buying into that rhetoric and trying to amplify this for the MAGA crowd. And so, yeah, I absolutely think that she only did it to be racist towards me.
Fetterman commented on the exchange on Friday, writing on X, "Today I'm apologising to the Jerry Springer show. AOC clapped back, I understand. You likely would not have stood up for your colleague and seem to be confused about racism and misogyny being a both sides issue. But I stand up to bullies instead of becoming one. And to the women of Pennsylvania, I'd stand up for you too. Enjoy your Friday."
So I'd like to say that I'm above it all, but I am not. I'm not above enjoying a little bit of verbal fisticuffs happening in the chamber. So what was interesting to me is when this story first emerged, the focus really was on AOC's kind of, oh, baby girl moment, which, as much as I think that she's in the right kind of ethically here, that Marjorie Taylor Greene started it by talking about the appearance of a colleague. It was unnecessary, and I think AOC is right to stand up and defend her colleague. It was sort of cringe.
I can't believe that the thing we're going to have our most fervent disagreement on is AOC standing up for the rights of...
Oh, baby girl. Oh, no, you did. It was like a cartoon... like caricature of like a sassy clapback, for all of the kind of criticism that AOC gets about not really being like from the community
Alex
that
from
she
the
said.
Bronx, etc.
Exactly.
Right.
That when you come off like that, when your clapback sounds like that, that's validating to those who think you're inauthentic.
Well, maybe, but she reacted in the moment without going after Marjorie Taylor Greene's appearance, to be fair. I mean, baby girl, I guess, is debatable. It's not necessarily, whatever. But unlike
Jasmine Crockett,
right.
Whose response, I think, in terms of if I'm just rating playground insults and I'm rating clapbacks, she gets a gold star here, top tier. She responded kind of passive aggressively asking, if it, just saying to the chamber, if we're talking about people's physical appearances, would it be appropriate for me to comment on someone's bleached blonde, bad built butch body?
Congratulations on getting that quote right, which is far too much alliteration for me to start.
I mean, there are people talking about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Clear the field. There's a new contender in town. Her name is Jasmine Crockett. So they don't know how to field day with this.
Right.
There are memes everywhere. There are dance remixes. There are country songs. The rhythmic alliteration of bleach blonde, bad built, butch body has set the world on fire. But here, then something happened. It jumped the shark.
Right.
So Crockett started selling merch that said bleached blonde, bad built, butch body on it. On one of the items, at very least, she misspelled her own name. Right. The kind of rush to capitalize off of this was perceived as distasteful to many. I saw Tomi Lahren, a kind of, I guess, yesteryear, 2016 era, really conservative pundit, criticizing her for this. There was some pushback about, is that hypocritical because Donald Trump is the king of merchandise,
Right.
Trump steaks, Trump ties, Trump towers. Can you really, MAGA hats, putting your mugshot on a t-shirt,
Sure.
can you really be mad at it if that's
Right.
the guy on your team? Regardless, it did seem to kind of suck some of the fun out of what at one time was just like an internet phenomenon.
Which happens more and more in politics, right? There's a moment that appears like pretty spontaneous or funny or whatever. A lot of sort of rather po-faced pearl clutching went on about the initial exchange, right? Which everyone actually tuned into immediately to be entertained by it. But the selling of the merchandise is, I think, a little bit questionable just because it's sort of flogging a dead horse to a degree, right? And then there is the other point, I mean, not to be po-faced about it, but like some of the stuff I see on Twitter is basically people who would consider themselves liberal posting like juxtaposed photos of like AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the message essentially being like, our women are hotter than your women.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that does much for anything really, right?
I don't think it does either. And when people like Megyn Kelly make those kinds of arguments, which she's been making now for weeks, that why are the pro-Palestine protesters so ugly and our team is hot or something?
Right.
We can see that for what it is, an empty argument, a kind of hateful argument. It makes me think, oh gosh, I think she has at least one daughter. Like,
right.
Is
What
these the
message
standard?
is it?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And we see that for what it is. I've never liked any of the stuff that focused about Trump is fat.
Right.
Trump, like that's never been our side's move. With this, yes, I judge the clapback highly on its efficacy. But no, it's not nice. Right. And I do appreciate you made the point that AOC managed to respond to Marjorie Taylor Greene without reciprocating an attack on her appearance, which is probably for the best. Even if it was cringe. We should probably talk about what's new here, which is the Fetterman exchange. So Fetterman decides to weigh in on this, which
as he does on everything these days.
Truly, silence is an option.
Right.
But he gets on Twitter and compares what's going on in the House to Jerry Springer, which seems to be both sidesing it. Right? He doesn't say it's Jerry Springer and Marjorie Taylor Greene should have attacked my colleague.
Right.
Because that is what happened first.
Right.
He just says, oh, look at all of them fighting as though it's the same thing. And I think AOC is at least morally justified. I don't know about the politics of it, but morally justified in coming in and saying, yeah,
sure.
It's clear that you would not stand up for your colleague, but I will, just like I would stand up for all of the women who live in Pennsylvania, who you are responsible for as their senator. Right.
No, absolutely. And just to the point about Fetterman, because we have been talking here about the appearance, at least obliquely, of female representatives. There is a thing with Fetterman where, I mean, people have become wise to this, I think, but for a long time there was this thing of like, well, he wears shorts and he's got a shaved head and he probably likes some good bands. He must be a progressive. And then of late he's been frankly, like gloating about the death of Palestinians on occasions, and then weighs in on this with the kind of tweet that is just classic kind of Beltway Morning Joe, Acela corridor kind of, oh, isn't it terrible?
Right.
And like, what's he at?
Yes, by the way, the idea that he is going to say this is like Jerry Springer when he's been walking around dressed like Steve, the bodyguard from Jerry Springer, and expecting everyone to defend his right to present himself the way he wants to do. And many of us on the left frankly did, saying that what's more important is the substance. If he's a progressive, then who cares how he's dressed? He just had a stroke, all of these things. And then of course when it comes out that he's not actually a progressive, now we're all like, screw it, put a suit on. What are you even doing here? Stop wearing those goofy sweatshirts with the bow ties on them to formal events. This isn't cute anymore. And I think the more insidious aspect of this is that Fetterman got away with a lot of what was ultimately working class cosplay. He's someone who's actually from an affluent family and who used, this kind of sartorial sophistry to make himself seem like he was more aligned with the working people of his state. And I think now that all of that is crumbling, as we're seeing how aligned he is with the American military-industrial complex with respect to Israel, I think it's a really important warning not to fall for the pageantry, the visuals, whether it's bleached blonde, etc.
You can say it one more time if you want. You were really enjoying that and you still have it.
I'm a sucker for a good alliteration. I can't help it. Bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. or whether it's just a bad sweatshirt.
I'm not. Anyway, don't fall for the signifiers, is basically the message, right?
It's all right. Well, that does it for us today. We will be back tomorrow with more Rising. Robbie will be well recovered, we hope, and back sitting here, although I really enjoyed co-hosting with you.
Always
today.
a delight. Yeah, take care.
All right, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. For those of you who like to listen while you're on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Take care.